Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. It's nice to have you here today. My name's Beth and today I'm making a quilt block. I had some older calicos. You can see some of the older prints in here that are just kind of dated. And I thought, you know, if I add some solid crosses, I wonder what would happen. And look at what happened. I really like the way it turned out. I like the way the crosses pop out. You really don't see those older fabrics anymore. They're kind of the backdrop to that pretty pattern with the bright colors with the solid fabrics and the red squares. So we're going to make this block today, and if you make a whole bunch, you will have a quilt. So let's get started. For my cross block, I'm using a 6.5 inch square. I happen to have some cut out of those vintage calicos all ready to go. I think they were given to me. So I cut my cross pieces, which are 3¼ inch by 1.5 inch, and a 1.5 inch square for the center. So that's what we need for one block. So we're going to take our square and we're going to cut it in half twice. So that would be 3¼ inches both ways. And then we will add our cross pieces. I'll add 2 to these, and then I will make a unit right here to add in the middle when I'm done. So let me sit down at the machine and sew this together. With a 1/4 inch seam. And for this yellow, solid yellow, I actually had a cotton shirt in my stash that I added to my solids. I kind of have my fabrics divided into different types of fabric, and this is such a nice yellow cotton shirt. I added it to my solids, so it's kind of fun to add that freebie fabric to my quilt here. It's a really nice fabric, actually. Nice quality cotton. Now I'll put these 2 together, or these 3, for the center of my block. This is when you might want to pin your pieces together. You'll want seams to go opposite direction. So my red seam, for this side I want the seam to go this way, and this seam is going the opposite way. And I can put a little pin in here to hold it. And the same goes for the other side. So let's sew these together. We're almost done. See, this is such an easy block. You'll have a whole bunch made in no time. Now you just need to walk over to your ironing board and press that out. Such a fun block. here's our quilt top, and here is the quilt block that we just made. And I wanted to show you that for sashing, I went around and between all of these quilt blocks with more of those bars that we used for the crosses, 3 1/4 by 1.5 inch, and then this quilt has a lot of those 1.5 inch red squares. So you can imagine I had a big stack of those when I put this quilt top together. But I think this quilt really pops with all that color, and I was able to use these older calicos that are kind of drab, but they make a nice background for those pretty crosses. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you next time in my sewing room.